Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Introspect with me, Sharon Mwangi. Karibuni sana. If you're new here, karibu, feel at home. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. So today we're gonna get straight into the video. And kama kawaida, there's the first two questions of the day. How am I doing? What am I grateful for? I'm doing good. The week has been great. I enjoyed my week. In as much as it has been a bit cold because of the rain and there's a flu that's going around, but I'm good. I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful for the end of another week, and we're gonna begin another new week. So yeah. So for the past few videos, like the past two videos, we've been doing a mini series on the fathers of psychology. These are people who made a great contribution to what psychology is today. And we've been looking at some of them, looking at their lives, looking at the concepts, the theories that they came up with, and how we can learn from them. And today we're gonna look at two guys, also amazing guys, but we won't go into their history as much because the content of what they came up with, that's where the gems are. That's where the gems are. So today we are going to look at two amazing people. The first one is Carl Rogers and the second one is Abraham Maslow. So these two people kind of have some things in common. That's why I choose to do them together in one video. Both of them were American psychologists, and both of them were born in the early 1900s and then died in the late 1900s. And another similarity that they had is that they came from the same school of thought. Now, for those who have watched the previous videos, and if you have not watched, please go and watch them so that you don't feel left behind, Yes. Yeah, so for those two guys that we looked at before, that's Sigmund Freud and Alfred Adler, they came from a particular school of thought that, in simpler terms, just call it psychoanalysis. Okay, they came up with a psychoanalytic approach. And now these two guys, Carl Rogers and Abraham Maslow, came from a different school of thought, which is the humanistic theory. Now, the difference between these two is that for the humanistic theory, these are people who are like, okay, we understand, we get it. You guys from psychoanalysis, you did great. You came up with great concepts and kudos, it's good. But they felt as though it was like looking for signs and symptoms in human beings rather than just, sitting in the moment with the human and trying to understand a human in the whole concept, like as a whole. So the psychoanalytic approach worked more like how medicine works, like how doctors approach situations, where it's more of like trying to analyze and to see, do you have this sign, do you have this symptom, what signs and symptoms are you exhibiting, which signs and symptoms are you showing. But for the humanistic theory, it's not just about looking at the signs and symptoms that a person carries, but to listen to their experiences, to be present with them, to understand even their emotions, their experiences, to have a one-on-one with them, not just to tick boxes like a checklist or something, but to really have a good connection with humans and try to understand them as a whole. So let's look at the first guy, Carl Rogers. Now, Carl Rogers came up with so many concepts, but today we're just going to look at one. Okay, so we're just going to look at one of them. And what we're going to look at is something he called the self concept. Basically, what self concept is the beliefs that we have about ourselves. Under the self concept, we have three different components that Carl Rogers came up with. And that is number one, self-image. Number two is self-worth. And number three is ideal self. So self-image is just how we view ourselves. When I look at myself in the mirror, what do I see? How do I view myself? Number two is self-worth, or what people call self-esteem, which is how much value do I place on myself? How valuable do I think I am? And number three is the ideal self. Ideal self basically is just who I wish I could be, or the best version of myself that I can ever think of I want to be. And so in relation to this, Abraham Maslow now comes into the picture. You see, now the ideal self, as we have mentioned, is someone or a part of yourself, or that feeling of I wish I could be this, or this is the best version of myself that I wish I could be, or these are the ideal traits that I wish I could have. Now, Abraham Maslow came up with another concept that is almost close to what the ideal self is, and he called this concept self-actualization. And it's a complicated word, but it's not as complicated as you think it is, okay? So self-actualization is just when you are at your best, when you are the best version of yourself, when you have reached your fullest potential. Now, for Abraham Maslow, he came up with something we call the hierarchy of needs. Basically, what the hierarchy of needs is like categorizing the needs that we have as human beings in order of which is the most, like which one has more priority, and building them up to a point where now you get to that self-actualization. He categorized that we have 4 major needs before we get to self-actualization, and they all go building up on top of each other. Okay, so the first one he talked about is what we call physiological needs. Physiological needs are the things that we need in order to survive as humans. That is food, shelter, clothing, water, rest, sleep. You talk about it. Those things that our bodies need in order to function well. Those are the most basic and the most paramount needs. The second one is what we call the safety and the security needs. So basically, just as the name suggests, that these are the kind of needs we have as humans to feel safe and to feel secure in whatever area and whatever aspect we are in our lives. So he talks about physical safety, there is emotional safety, even talks about your health. Are you healthy as a person? Because with health comes life security. He also talks about employment. Do you have job security? Do you have a stable income? Do you have stability in your life? Actually, the most fundamental part of this particular needs is, are you stable? Do you have stability in your life? Then he goes to the third level, which is love and belongingness needs. The need to feel loved, the need to feel like you belong, you're part of a group, you're part of a community, you're part of something bigger than you. Okay, so the saying that says no man is an island? Yes, exactly. So these are those needs. This is the third level, whereby for someone, before they get to the level of self-actualization, they need to have that feeling of, I am loved, I can love others, and I belong somewhere. I belong in a community, I belong with people, I belong in my family. They have that sense of, I belong to someone or something bigger than just myself. Then the last one is what he called the esteem needs. Now, the esteem needs basically are just about your self-confidence. This is the need to feel confident, the need to feel respected and honored by others. The need to feel like you are someone important, like you want that respect from people. You have achieved so many things. You want to feel like you yourself are an achievement, like you have done things with your life and people can actually respect you and accord you the honor that you so desire and that you so deserve. And those are the 4 needs that help you get to self-actualization. Now, after you have met them in that order, now you can see you've gotten to a point of self-actualization where you're living in your full potential. Now, this is the point where all of us want to get. This is the point where when you sit down and think about your life, the desires, the plans that you have for yourself, that kind of ideal self, like when you're delulu in your mind and you're thinking like, yeah, I have that dream job, I'm traveling, I got the money. You have created this ideal life for yourself and you are living in your full potential and you're happy and you're content with where you are. That is what now self-actualization is about. Now, this is just something that I have really observed, and I said this is the best time to talk about this, even as we talk about this theory, because here we're not just about to talk to you about and educate you about these theories and that just leave it there. No, we are going to apply them in our lives and see where the shoe pinches us. Okay, so now, unfortunately, with our generation especially, we have turned this hierarchy upside down. What I mean by that is we are so focused on trying to meet the esteem needs even before we have other things figured out. We want to be respected, tutambulike, watu watujue, wajue sisi ni nani, Yeah, we want to have a say in everything. We want to have a say in our lives. We want to have a say in other people's lives. We just want to feel important and unique, and we want to be respected and honored by people. But unfortunately, that is where we are going wrong, because we are starting from upside down. Like, we've turned the hierarchy upside down. For example, a lot of us now are really engrossed and fixated on just creating this ideal life, which is not, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting, good for yourself and wanting a good life, but it's a process and there's a journey. You don't just wake up one morning and you demand everyone to respect you, or you try to put up this facade that you're actually living, the ideal life, or you've reached your level of self-actualization, like, I'm living my best life, But nothing is wrong with having a good job, you're traveling, and you have a good relationship, and that's good. But the problem is, a lot of us think we are living our ideal life, when really we are just living a fabricated fake life. Because you haven't really met all the needs that you need to meet, especially the most basic ones. So there are people who probably post about their relationship, how happy they are, oh, my man, oh, my man did this, my man took me there, my man told me about my man. However, when we go down hapo kwa safety and security needs, you do not feel emotionally safe in that relationship. You don't feel physically safe in that relationship, because probably there's a bit of violence. You do not feel secure in that relationship, because you're not sure whether, am I the one? Am I the only one? Ama kuna watu wengine mahali? But you have created this facade in your mind that you're living your ideal life, when really you're just living an aspect of the ideal life. Yeah, it's a bitter pill to swallow, I know, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Don't throw stones at the messenger, please. I am only but a messenger. If Abraham Maslow was alive today, probably would throw stones at him, but he's not. A lot of us are putting up this facade, or what you believe is the ideal life really isn't what the ideal life is. Or probably you have a great job. You have a job that's paying well. You have a job that you feel like, yeah, I'm stable in this job. I got the moolah, I got the money. Mimi ndio na parambulate, nasumbua na natesa hii Nairobi. I'm traveling left, right, and center. I'm in Europe, I'm in the US, I'm in Asia, I'm everywhere, traveling and parambulating na kupiga maisha. However, when it comes up or down to the love and belongingness needs, when was the last time you saw your kids? When was the last time you spent good quality time with your family? Yes, we're not denying you have a good job, you have a good life, money is good, it's streaming in, and it's coming in good. We're not denying that. And that's a good thing to want. Because hapo kwa esteem needs uko fiti. Hapo kwa esteem needs uko fiti. But when it comes to love, belongingness, like, what about your social life? Do you have real, genuine friendships? Or are you the kind of person who you replace your physical presence in your friends or family's life by money? For example, there are so many kids that we have these days who they have not experienced the love, affection, and presence of their parents. Like, they do not know physical and emotional availability. All they know is financial availability of their parents. Like, their parents try to compensate for this love and belongingness needs by offering them money. Whatever it is that they want, they get it. There are some needs that we have as human beings that do not require just financial presence. They need more than your financial presence. They need more than your pocket. Okay? The money is good. It's all right. Money is good. Even the Bible says, money answereth all things. However, there are some things that need more than just money. The money is okay, but it needs more than just the money. This is just a message to you to evaluate yourself and to see your life, to look at your life as a whole. Even when you sit down and you say, this is my most ideal self, this is what I look forward to doing or being, or this is the kind of life I look forward to creating. Have you incorporated all these other needs in your life? Like, have you made sure that even as you think about your most ideal self, have you thought about your safety and your security? Have you thought of investing in your health? Have you thought about investing in your emotional well-being and your emotional safety? Have you thought about investing in your friendships and relationships? Now, hapo kwa love and belongingness, don't get it twisted. It does not mean that everyone is supposed to be married, have children, and all of that. That's not what it means. It just means, do you have a community where you belong? You might not be married, you might still be single, or you might not just want to be married either way, or you do not want to have children either way. But do you still have a community where you belong? Whether it's in your family, whether it's just, do you have a community that you belong that is beyond you, that is just beyond yourself? For our generation, please, let's stop running after the fakeness. Let's stop running after the esteem needs even before we have the basics figured out. Let's stop running after, oh, the big cars and, you know, that esteemed life, oh, the money and all of that. It's good. Those things are good. But even before we get there, can we get the basics done first? And in no way am I saying we should not dream big. In no way am I saying that we should not have big dreams. Even myself, I want to live a very luxurious life. Anyone who knows me knows I love comfort. And I want luxury. I love luxury, okay? I want to drive big. I want to drive the good cars. I want to live in a good house. I want to have the money. I want to travel. I want to do all those things and be esteemed and be respected and be honored by people. But beyond that, I still want to be able to meet my physiological needs. I want to be able to feel safe. One, in my health. I want to feel safe in my job. I want to feel like I have a stable income. I want to have emotional and physical safety. I want to have good relationships. I want to have good friendships. I want to have sincere, meaningful connections with people. Above all else, that's what I desire most. So that even when I reach to that level of self-actualization, I can say, wow, I actually love my life. Not just because I have money, but also because I have good relationships and I could have good friendships. The introspection question for the day is, what needs am I neglecting? Like, out of all those things we've talked about, what needs are you neglecting, and what can you start to do today about them to start meeting those needs as we all work towards that journey of getting to the point of self-actualization and living our ideal life and creating that ideal self. Yeah. Anyway, that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Kama umeumizwa kidogo, it's okay. Sometimes therapy, you don't always leave when you're smiling. Sometimes you have to cry a bit. You know that is growth. Lazima uchunwe kidogo ndio usikie where the shoe pinches, you know. Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for sticking through the video. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe. Yeah, and see you in the next video. Bye.